And in the right bottom side of Nightshade, we're looking at the main base with a man hailing from Germany. It is HeRoMaRinE.
So it really feels like, you know, we looked at this bracket weeks ago, obviously. The bracket's been set for a long time. And we looked at this one, and a lot of people saying, HeRoMaRinE, Showtime, they look really good. Looks like maybe 2 Germans coming out of the winner's bracket on the top side. But this is the big test. Yep. Big Gabe is up against his first Korean Protoss. And there are a couple here. And it feels like these are the ones that will probably upset his run. Yeah,
it's cool, because it's not even just the top Protosses that are here, but we also had guys like Zaun and Super showing up. I mean, Barding even qualified for the group stages, so I guess he is now included in the top Protosses as well. We'll see how this one plays out. Like, I do watch Gabe his stream quite a bit. I find it an absolute gem. I'll never get tired of his stream. But it's no secret that he doesn't really love TVP right now. Like, often when he loses a game, he'll give you the explanation that he was better than his opponent, but he was only 10% better, and he kind of needs to be like 20% better to win in this matchup. Then again, I feel like stylistically, Patience is the kind of Protoss player that Gabe actually likes to go up against, right? A Protoss that doesn't really sit back and tack up and builds those really strong, terrifying armies with a lot of AoE. No, Patience is the guys like Zealots, Stalkers, Blink, run by, get something done, can I win right now? And I think that Gabe is actually really good in those weird crisis games.
I agree. I mean, we saw a bit of that. You know, obviously he lost the second series against Classic, but his first series against Classic, Gabe even mentioned in his interview, like if he does beat Korean Protosses, normally it's a little bit stressful, a little bit close. He did have a really amazing series against Classic, but then he started at Group C at the Global Finals.
Yeah, when he was down 2-0 and then he won 3-2.
That's it. So you're absolutely right, and Classic was that kind of guy. And obviously he's in the military right now. We miss him very dearly. We hope he comes back. But he was a very aggressive Protoss towards the end of his career, like just always in your face, blink attack timings, warp prisms early in the game, just non-stop pressure. And you're absolutely right. Gabe likes to hold out the sword and let the Protoss jump on top of it himself.
Yep. So we'll see. For now, obviously, everything is very standard in this game. Was it a Cybercore before a Nexus, by the way, this game?
I mean, that's a pretty quick Stargate, so potentially, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Patience, we know that he likes to get stuff done. Even if he opens up with an Oracle or two, there's a good chance that he combines that with a couple of Adepts. I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe go for a crazy play where you shade 4 or 5 Adepts without Resonating Glaives into the natural of the Terran. But Patience can do a lot of things. He can also open up with a couple Phoenix and then just show up with an 8-gate Zealot with charge, right? He's capable of a lot of these crazy Protoss builds that don't transition that well unless you win a fight. But Patience is good at finding those spots.
Scouting's going to be absolutely critical here for Gabe. He's not got a bunker in the natural, actually. He's cutting the bunker from this build, which is usually against a player like Patience, something I wouldn't recommend. But he's going to, I mean, he's getting away with it just so far. There's not really a whole lot of gateway unit production here for Patience. That is a wall-off, so the Reaper's going to have to take a different angle.
Yeah, just keeping the second Adept on this side of the map wouldn't be that bad for Gabe, though. You don't want to lose the Reaper. I actually think a lot of people really underestimate how valuable Reapers are. This Reaper is, or excuse me, this Adept is not going to shade into the main base. I think it's very important for Gabe that he kept it alive, because now he's kind of forcing that other Adept to stay at home, right? And imagine if we already had 2 Adepts on the other side of the map. That could be very frustrating, especially if you do a trick where the Widowmine fires at, you know, an Adept that's going to shade away. Then suddenly you could be in a lot of trouble.
Big Gabe's detecting an anti-Stargate build here. His Cyclone and Viking are on the way, and that is exactly what you want as a Terran. They're not here just yet, so the Widowmine is his only line of defense until they pop out.
Well, that Oracle is actually kind of flying towards that Widowmine. I really hope for Patience that he's paying attention, and it seems like he is. He's very careful, he's getting close, but
you can see it. Yeah. Patience a little bit too good, a little bit too high level of Protoss to get the bait there. And he's, you know, you see the extra couple gateways on the bottom here. It just feels like you know, you always have to do that now in this matchup because of how often just 1 or 2 Hellions get thrown into the mix for Terran. But Patience does know that there's a reacted barracks at the front, so not really the biggest of deals. Just a bit of a SimCity.
Does he already want to go up to 3 bases now? I find that super ambitious. After opening up Adepts and Oracles as well, going a Phoenix and another Oracle, I feel like then it's so likely that Gabe makes a push with like 1 or 2 tanks. He has that Cyclone, maybe 2 Vikings in the mix. And I really don't know if Patience could ever keep that Nexus alive if he would decide to expand right now.
Well, I mean, Big Gabe is a very standard Terran player. Oh, getting the probe here is very nice. Going to play that third even further. Very, very nice, buying him an extra few seconds of an advantage there. Reaper does go down, but he doesn't really need it anymore. It's all about going towards that +1 attack push. And as I say that, there's that +1 on the way for the Terran. And this is the kind of push that's actually quite strong against Stargate because, you know, you're going to have a lot of Marines. You're going to have Widowmines on your push, tanks on your push.
Well, he even goes Blink here as well. I was like, I know that this used to be the standard, but I think you can do this maybe on like Eternal Empire or Ephemeron, you know, just maps that are a little bit larger than Nightshade is. I mean, Patience, when it comes to an actual army that can stand there and fight, he's going to have close to nothing, actually. What he will have, obviously, as soon as he has Blink Stalkers, is the ability to be very annoying, maybe shave off a couple of units when Gabe is running to the other side of the map, and maybe drop a stasis or 2 somewhere. Right now, I really don't like where Patience is going, but I think it also all comes down to execution, and maybe he can surprise us and pull off something very cool.
I'm absolutely with you there. Hallucinating Phoenix coming on in and having a look, sees the tech labs both spinning, and Patience is on the clock to start getting up his defenses because he knows the push is coming from Terran. Every Terran wants to do this push in this matchup, and Gabe is no different. Amassing the Marauders, amassing the mines. Actually going to have quite a few Widow mines in this push.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's going to be done like way before Zealot charge will ever even be done. Because I think what Gabe is worried about, that he makes the traditional push. What if he would make it a little bit too early? What if he gets ambushed by either even like Adepts with Resonating Glaives or 7 or 8 Zealots with charge? Then you can suddenly lose all the momentum. But right now, this is a terrifying Terran army.
Yeah.
And Patience, like I look at Patience, but what he's working with, nothing. He has 57 probes, but he doesn't really have an army that can fight there. Maybe the best force fields ever in Guardian Shield, but I am so worried here for our Korean Protoss.
It's more than double the army supply here for the Terran in this push. This just doesn't look holdable.
No.
I'm like, you know, it obviously hasn't started the fight just yet, but as commentators, guys, there needs to be some good stasis wards here for Patience, or Big Gabe's going to just run through. Oh, okay, he took the right turn there, so he's not going to get caught by that stasis ward. The third Nexus is definitely in trouble, though.
Yeah, this army is just not very good right now. Guardian Shield, I mean, Patience is going to go for it immediately, but like we said, he really lacks the firepower here. It's just a couple of Stalkers. Blink is done right now. +1 wasn't really done yet, but I think at this point, if you already start by losing the fight, things will only go worse, and all that Big Gabe does lately is win, and it seems like he's not stopping here.
All he wants to do is win, 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 and that third Nexus is basically Patience's last stand. Like, you wouldn't think that going down at 2 bases is all that bad, but it absolutely is. Yep. Especially against this guy. He is just powering straight through, and it doesn't look like it's going to be stopped here, Roddy.
How clean. Even Gabe would have to be happy with this game, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is just textbook TVP. When everything goes right and goes to plan, that's what it looks like. GG, HeRoMaRinE with honestly a very convincing game 1.
Absolutely. It doesn't really get much better than that for him. If we want to be critical, which we obviously do, guys, we're here to have a good time, but we also want to be a little critical from time to time. Patience needs to bring more, okay? Like, Patience can maybe play like that against weaker Terrans, where he's just like, I'll go 3 bases, 57 probes, and it will be fine, you know, I'll just find something in the middle of the game. Like, no. Against Gabe, you need a clear-cut plan, and you really need to strike and try to throw him off a little bit, because at this point, he almost gave Gabe a build order win, but this wasn't a build order win. Gabe snuck everything out, like, he knew what to do, he knew what he wanted to do, and Patience just kind of sat there and let it happen. Like, I really thought, after going Adept, and then Oracle, Phoenix, Oracle, that if you want to go 3 bases quickly there as well, I think like, okay, now maybe he goes Charge or Resonating Glaives, so he tries to ambush the army immediately, survive. But I think going Blink there, by the time Blink was done, that army was already at his front door. And well, guess what, Maynard? Blink's not very good at that point.
No, I mean, Blink Stalkers are all well and good for picking off the occasional medevac or a siege tank rallying through the middle of the map, but against a whole bunch of stimmed Marauders with +1 attack, not so much.
Like, I really thought that Patience the kind of guy that the moment that Gabe would move out, like maybe he chrono boosted Blink a couple of times, or he would go for a quicker Twilight, that he jumps in the main, right? And he, like with 6 or 7 Stalkers, picks off an add-on, maybe cancels Stim or Combat Shield, and at that point he drags the game on, and he can get away with his build. But yeah, I thought it was a little lackluster by Patience and just kind of uninspiring, because he just sat there and he's like, I feel like you're kind of dining your own death sentence right now, and he pretty much was.
Pretty much, and it's such a stock standard push as well. It's pretty disappointing, you know, to not be ready for something like that, because you know, a lot of pros at that point, they've got +1 armor done, they've got charge, or maybe even double upgrades on a double forge build or something like that 3-gas mass gateway thing.
Where were the stasis traps in the middle of the map, right? Just to slow down that push. Basically anything he could have done, he just didn't really do it. The second map is going to be played on Triton, by the way, guys, and I actually kind of think this is a pretty strong Terra map as well, because it's one of the smaller maps in this map pool. It's not tiny, but it's definitely smaller than an Eternal Empire or an Ephemeron. So I like this with Terran, and let's just see what happens.
Let's get into it, guys. In the bottom right here, currently down the series, looking to tie it up, the Korean Protoss. He is Patience.
And in the left up side, the man who has been dominating the ESL weeklies. He is 5-0 so far in this tournament at the offline bracket. It is HeRoMaRinE.
And also for all you guys playing at home that don't have the bracket open right now, this means HeRoMaRinE is 1 map away from qualification. He's already, I mean, it's been a pretty quick bracket. His bracket, as a lot of already mentioned, hasn't dropped a map just yet. He's been crushing it so far. So if he wins this map, an extremely strong start to IEM Katowice for Big Gabe, who has a lot of hype around him.
He just looked so good in the off-season, right? Like, Gabe is not a guy who does a lot of talking. Like, he talks a lot on his stream, but he's not a guy that, like, throws out the Twitter statements all the time, like, hey, guys, I'm working so hard, or I'm practicing 24/7.
Yeah.
Like, no. He's just, like, doing his own thing. But I feel like he really improved in the off-season. He leveled up his game, and he separated himself from the rest of the pack in Europe.
You know what? For an analogy for you, Roddy, he's that guy, and this is so rare, he's that one guy that goes to the gym and doesn't tweet about it.
No, absolutely.
He just goes to the gym and gets swole.
And
then he shows up at an event, you're like, geez, Gabe, you got good, man.
Yeah, there are people who want to share every little single thing they do all the time, and you know, to each their own. But Gabe is like one of those quiet dudes who doesn't really need to say all the right things or say the things that he thinks the StarCraft community wants to hear or his fans want to hear. Like, no, he just does it. Keeps his head down, plays a lot of games, and obviously we joke about his stream and his manners, because yeah, Gabe does get a little carried away from time to time, but we love him for it. And I mean, his gameplay, like, it really, like, he couldn't do the things that he does on stream if he actually sucked, okay? Like, then we'd all be like, why is this guy so weird and arrogant and cocky? But Gabe actually backs it up. He talks, but he also walks the walk.
Yeah, which is, you know, part of the reason why he has so many fans, why Rainer and Cyril have so many fans as well. You know, Rainer will obviously say, I'm best, I'm favored here, it's going to be easy. And will just back it up with results. And we got that scout in here for Big Gabe. Obviously, there's a proxy pylon out in the map from Patience. He's going to go for a proxy Stargate here.
That's quick, huh?
Yeah, very quick and very close to the Terran main. So going to be hitting a lot earlier. HeRoMaRinE probably won't have anything as the Oracle comes in here. Maybe one Widow Mine if he goes straight into Widow Mines here. If he waits for an add-on, then definitely not.
No, I think even if, yeah, I guess he will have one mine. So this could be a disaster. If that Oracle would fly into the first mine, like, that's absolutely disastrous. But that normally shouldn't happen. Oh, he opens up a Hellion. Well, Hellions are not that good against Oracles, guys.
I'm sure you'll... it's hard to argue there. Spot on analysis, Roddy.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
You get a probe kill, but obviously the one worker going down for Big Gabe might make you feel nice, especially at this level of StarCraft 2, but the Oracle potentially could do a lot more here. The Reaper does get out of there with its life and a probe kill in hand, but Patience looking to punish the Terran sins.
Well, if he goes in a straight line there, but he does not, the Reaper. Reaper turns around, so Reaper is going to be annoying. There's a good chance the Reaper is going to pick up at least one more probe kill, maybe eventually even two, even though the second Adept was left at home once again. But yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit worried, because Gabe right now does not have a good answer for that Oracle. That's way quicker than it normally is.
No, you're absolutely right, and there's not going to be any Cyclone. Widow Mine's also not part of the mix because he went straight into Hellions, so... I can see this Oracle doing a fair bit. It's going to take some worker micro here from Gabe to mitigate the damage. He's even switching over the starport with the factory right now.
Goodness, this is bad, man. He can lose like 7 or 8 workers.
You're absolutely right. What? The Oracle goes to the natural?
What? And he activated... No, I thought he activated Pulsar Beam, actually.
I mean, that would have been very questionable, but he does get in the main. The SCVs do get pulled, but he's definitely going to lose a few here.
I thought this would be so much worse, because he was terribly out of position. Gabe, that is, had 0 anti-air in the main base. I was like, that's going to be 4 or 5 SCVs at least, but I was afraid of 7 or 8 even.
The Oracle actually only killed 1 SCV.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, Patience running into the natural and showing it to the Marines was a little bit odd as well, because Gabe's like, oh, okay, well, there's an Oracle, I know there's a proxy.
Obviously, like, we see it all, and Patience does not, and if he would have flown his Oracle straight into the main base, he flies into a mine, we're like, oh my god, Patience, how can you do that? So it's obviously easier for us to see what he has to do. But yeah, I think if you proxy the Oracle, you want to get a little more, and you want to be a little adventurous at least. Like, we don't know Patience as a safe player, okay? This guy stands out because he makes the craziest blings in the whole wide world.
Certainly does. I mean, the name is really kind of an oxymoron when you think about it. It's kind of like the Terran Play Innovation that kind of just did the same build all the time back in the day, but he's obviously a lot different now. Really excited to see him play soon, by the way. It'll be tomorrow.
Those Korean Terrans, man, like, they're looking good. I think this tournament is going to be a good one for all the
Terrans out catches there. The Oracle with a lock-on. So to get one of them here, at least in the Viking, with 1 Phoenix, will eventually take it down, but with the Cyclone support, he can't take that fight.
Everything is going well for Gabe in this series. Even where it looked like he was supposed to be in trouble here against the first Oracle, it turned out very alright for him, barely losing anything. And now once again, it's going to be the Blink follow-up. At least Patience is already getting those stocks to the other side of the map. And this time HeRoMaRinE is going up to 3 bases a lot quicker, which is going to be hard to scout, by the way, for Patience, right?
Well, I mean, his Stargate units are mostly dead here. I think he has the Oracle and the Phoenix still alive. Well, there's the Oracle there with the Stalkers. Phoenix is actually being used for defense over here next to the main base. Big Gabe going for a push very early here without Stim.
Once again, a lock on Oracle takes a little bit of damage. I think this is kind of almost like a fake push. If you look at the work account, Patience has not been building probes. You remember last game? 57 workers against the 2-base Terran. This time he was a lot more worried about the push, so he's like, I'll stop a little bit early, and obviously he started off with a proxy as well, so your economy is always a bit worse. I think this is also going very good for Gabe, because Gabe is making it look like it's the same game as last game, but it's not at all, because he's doing this with 3 command centers.
And Patience is going to go for that 3-gas style I was paying attention to before, but just with the 1 Forge, he's only just getting attack upgrades, which means that the Zealots are going to be a little bit squishier against the Bio. So it feels like the Zealots, the charge lots just aren't going to be as scary as they normally would be if a Protoss went for double Forge. But there's a blinker to the main base. Gabe doesn't have any tanks up here except for the one that just sieges now. Oh, Patience is actually putting himself in a corner here. He's got to blink out. Yeah, doesn't want to lose too many Stalkers.
Lost the Stalker, didn't kill anything.
Yeah,
and still, I mean, he should kind of know by now, and that's why he's going back into pro production. But look at this. HeRoMaRinE is actually taking the worker lead in a TVP. This is a rare sight, guys. Take a screenshot right now. Show it to your friends, okay? Because you don't see this very often. And this really does mean that HeRoMaRinE is in an awesome position, especially because what you pointed out as well. I think the 1 Forge is the correct call. Okay, Patience is going to try to get a tank here, and he does get a tank. Well done, Patience. I think 1 Forge is the correct call against 2-base Terran pushes, because if you go double Forge, you just can't really hold it anymore. But if your opponent opens up 3CC, then you really want the double Forge, because you need an upgrade advantage. If you're trying to win with Stalkers and Zealots, or at least you're trying to get ahead, you better get ahead in upgrades. Otherwise, your Zealots are just not going to cut it. This build is not as good as it used to be because the upgrades of Protoss take a lot longer right now than it did like a year or 2 ago. And even the Zealots, yeah, they're a little bit faster, but that -8 initial damage that you don't have anymore with charge right now is massive, and it really makes this build a lot weaker.
And, I mean, the +1 attack makes sense first here for Patience because he is going Blink Stalkers first and trying to do pressure. He's trying to pick off add-ons and whatever, but that got denied before. The Phoenix had one job here, Roddy, to get rid of this Viking, but it flies through the Phoenix, lands, it's killed 5 probes, target firing down a 6th one there. That's so much damage. Yep. Here comes the Oracle for some counter damage, though.
Yeah, that's nice, but I mean, I'm super worried here for Patience, man. Okay, this is actually kind of funny. Look at where his army is. Where's the army of HeRoMaRinE? It went to the middle of the map. Okay, that tank got picked off. There's Marines coming in from every angle. This is very weird and very risky, but I like it. Patience needed to do something crazy, and this is crazy enough for me.
Yeah, he did a lot of worker damage there, so really evened up the board. Part of that army of HeRoMaRinE also took a little bit of time to get over here and actually intercept, thanks to those force fields.
Very, very well done there by Patience. Look at HeRoMaRinE. He's a little bit flustered. He's actually going to evacuate for now, which I don't think was necessary, but he just has no idea where all these Protoss units are suddenly coming from.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like there's actually, you know, a prism really close to his base here. HeRoMaRinE scans, sees a 3rd. He's like, oh, okay, that's a lot of probes. I'm down on workers right now. 75, actually, like 55 workers here for the Protoss. And after losing 22, Gabe is going to have to play catch up with that 3rd getting back on location.
It's actually crazy that Gabe is still only 5 workers behind. He lost 22 SCVs and he's only 5 workers behind. Patience is going out to 4 bases. He does have that double Forge up and running right now, which I really love. But there's one thing that HeRoMaRinE needs, and I love to see it on the production tab. That's Widow Mines, man. If your opponent has an insane amount of Zealots, you just get an insane amount of mines, because Zealots are not good against Widow Mines. And in the past, I've seen HeRoMaRinE struggle in these situations against Korean Protoss players. I think right now he should have the skill to stay calm and actually get himself in a good position.
Well, HeRoMaRinE looks like he's really committing with the push here. He's going quite deep, but that's going to leave the natural quite open. The boys are being pulled, but right into the face of a bunch of charge lots here. Widow Mine's coming in to assist. HeRoMaRinE does want to go for that big 2-base attack, thinking that he's taken more damage than potentially he has here.
Yeah, he's not...
He doesn't need to go all in, I feel.
I mean, upgrade-wise, it's starting to look bad. I can get behind that, but other than that, he doesn't have that much to worry about. Tech-wise, there's very little for Patience. The only thing he can really build is Immortals, and even those are not that good against massive bio-ball armies, right? So
that was very awkward for Gabe there. It also showed Patience that he was keen to pull the SCVs, which means that Patience is going to get those pylons up and start warping in a bunch of units. He potentially has shield batteries back at home as well, can't really see here. But he's going to try and slow the Terran down, but he will need to do some warp-ins at home. Only looks like 1 shield battery here for Patience so far. Oh my god, the Zealot count. He's only got 2 Widow Mines.
Yes, 38 Zealots.
Oh my god. Well, the Widow Mines are going to get a first shot off there. The Liberators definitely are a problem for Patience. He's retreating from this battle. Anti-armor missile there on a few units, but still looks like so many here are ready to fight.
The mines really need to all be here, by the way. 5 or 6 mines can have a massive impact. He's at 44 Zealots. How often do you see that?
Not very often, not at this point. Patience has got so many gateway units. Big Gabe's kicking on in. Patience does have the upgrade advantage with the attack upgrades. Doesn't quite have +2 armor done yet, though. The Bio started stepping here a little bit. He's pretty Marine heavy, so he's all right against the Zealots. The Stalker's coming in for the backside. He is surrounding the Bio here and starting to pick up the Liberators as well.
Yep, and he's sniping the matter of fact with the Stalkers. Well done there by Patience. Gets the job done. Makes HeRoMaRinE bleed for the first time in this tournament. 44 Zealots, Maynard.
That's a lot of charge loss, Ruddy. That's a terrifying sight for any Terran player out there. Any of you guys out there play plenty of TVPs. That's not something you want to see.
He had 6 Widow Mines, but I feel like not all 6 Widow Mines were there, right? There were clearly 2 Widow Mines somewhere in the middle of the map or still at home. Because imagine if you would have 6 to 8 mines burrowed. Good luck engaging that with your 44 Zealots, okay? You're about to lose like 12 almost immediately. And I really think that made the difference there. Just not enough Widow Mines against the insane Zealot count.
Yeah, Big Gabe certainly got flustered. You know, he's a guy that really wants to have a plan and then run through that plan. And that game, Patience absolutely put a spanner in the works. So he saw the SCV pool, and he's like, oh god, there's charge lots in between my army, my SCVs. And he's like, all right, back they go. If there were like maybe 20 or so SCVs in that final attack, they would have gone up against a wall of charge lots. And yes, they would have helped because it keeps the charge lots away from your bio forces. And maybe we're still, you know, casting game 2 here if things went a little bit differently, if Big Gabe's plan actually went to fruition.
And don't forget what happened the first time when HeRoMaRinE moved out, right? Because at that point, HeRoMaRinE was actually in a very good position, in my opinion. Everything across the board looked all right for the Terran player, but he had a lot of his forces on the left side through the middle, and then he had roughly like 16 to 20 bio supply on the right side, and suddenly Patience is there between all those units, between those armies, and between the natural and the third base of HeRoMaRinE. And you could really see Gabe's like, what? Like, what is his army doing here? This doesn't really make any sense. It's not supposed to be here, but it was there. But this is kind of what we said, though, right? After game 1. This is the stuff we want to see from Patience. Does it always make sense? Is it always very clean? No. But can he win games? Hell yeah.
Absolutely. And that might give the Korean Protoss a little bit more confidence in here in game 3 to do something even more wild. HeRoMaRinE looking to try and get through that qualification bracket, has dropped his first map this tournament so far. And I think everyone out there that's a HeRoMaRinE fan will want him to say, okay, just one map, HeRoMaRinE, let's get that second one. Let's get into that qualification to the group stages. In the bottom right here, winning game 2, the Korean Protoss. He is Patience.
And in the left top side of Ephemeron, we're looking at the main base of a German Terran player representing Mouse Sports for all these years already. It is HeRoMaRinE. It's been like solid 9, 10, 11 years.
There was actually a tweet post recently from Team Liquid saying that I think it was Team Liquid posted how long, like the longest amount of time a player's been with a team.
Yeah.
Dario, obviously #1, 10 solid years with Team Liquid. And Big Gabe was #2 with, I think, 9 years with Mouse Sports.
But if I recall correctly, Gabe already represented Mouse in one way or the other in Warcraft 3. But I guess that didn't really count, or then maybe they temporarily took a break and then he rejoined when StarCraft 2 came out. Because I think there was a little bit of a dead period when like Warcraft 3 used to be very active in the European scene. And I think like past 2008, 2009, it started to slow down a little bit. So maybe Mouse Sports temporarily stopped. But I think he was on Mouse as a little boy. Because you know those expeditions, right, where like everybody has a booth and they're promoting their products? Once upon a time, when Gabe was like a very, very young man, he was like 9 or 10, he sat there on a Mouse Sports booth and you could play against HeRoMaRinE when he was 9 or 10 years old in Warcraft 3. And if you would beat him, you'd get a mouse pad.
What an honor.
Obviously, I sat down and beat him.
Obviously. Is that the best mouse pad you've ever won, Ruddy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, little Gabe was already the same when he saw me walk up. He's like, oh, no.
9.
9. But yeah, over the last 5 years, I've never beaten Gabe in anything, so he definitely got his revenge on me, man.
Absolutely. You might be the guy, you might be the reason, because there's always that guy that gets beaten up in school, you know, the guy that's like he's a little bit skinny growing up, he hasn't quite filled out completely, and then he's actually becomes like an MMA fighter later in life,
like
and he beats the bullies.
Pretty much. Maybe I'm the reason that HeRoMaRinE is this good at video games.
Let's run with that narrative, man. You're the reason why HeRoMaRinE had the fire inside to become one of the greatest players in the history of the game.
Okay, so this is
big proxy here from Patience. Yeah, Stargate again, I think.
This could be something else. I think it's so close that this wouldn't make sense for Stargate. I think it's like Gateway or Robo.
And there it is, the Stargate.
So close.
So
close.
It
is so close.
So close. I mean, this is really dangerous for Big Gabe. I mean, not only is is he one map away from going to the losers bracket, but historically and even like really recently, he's been outspoken about TVP being a bit of a rough matchup for him. And there's nothing but Protosses in that losers bracket, so he doesn't want to go down there, that's for damn sure.
And I gotta say, like, it's a pretty cool call by Patience as well, right? Like, you go proxy Stargate the previous game, and then right now, if you're HeRoMaRinE, you're scouting, you're like, you wouldn't proxy Stargate.
I love it from Patience. Get wild, man.
And this time, I do think he flies straight into the main, right? If you're this close, don't you kind of have to?
The Reaper's going to go down. The grenade slightly mistimed, slightly off-center.
I like what HeRoMaRinE did there. He fired up the Hellion like he did in the previous game, and he's like, nope, cancel, I need a Widowmine, most likely. And he's right, he definitely needs a Widowmine here.
Yeah, good call from Gabe here. So the Oracle, I mean, depending on where it flies, the good thing about the Widowmine is even if it doesn't kill the Oracle, it will zone the Oracle.
Yep.
So it keeps your more saturated mineral line generally safe.
I gotta say, this is such a crazy proxy location, and he's actually getting away with it. It's like, if you do this at home, okay, it doesn't matter what MMR you play, guys. Platinum League, Diamond League, this Stargate will be found immediately. I guarantee it. There'll be an SUV there before you even warp it in.
I think the proxy near those rocks, like at the where you get the fourth base, like those rocks there, that's a really
Oracle on the top
location.
side of the orbital.
Yeah, gets the one SCV there. So far, same damage as last game, just the one SCV. Adept in the natural, a little bit annoying as well, as Big Gabe's got his units up in the main base.
Does he want to activate the mine? No, he does not. I said Oracle obviously meant the Widowmine. Oh, there's a Phoenix in the mix as well. That Phoenix could fly in first and actually absorb the Widowmine shot, and that is exactly what is going to happen here. Oh,
he softens up the SCVs.
Oh,
really nice play from Patience. Very big brain maneuver there for the Protoss, and he gets 4 one-shot SCV kills just like that.
And actually keeps the Phoenix alive as well, which is really damn good. Well done, man. That's
I love that mine
play.
drag.
Another SCV just went down. Maybe it was like a random adept somewhere. HeRoMaRinE realizes now that he needs to do something on the other side of the map, so he's gonna. He flies over this target now. He's like, oh my goodness, really? You dropped it there?
Mein Gott.
Mein Gott.
Yeah, he needs to go for a Widow. This Widowmine drop is looking for a lot of probe kills here, and he is certainly starting to fall behind in workers at the moment. This is a bit more what you'd expect in a TVP to have this kind of probe advantage.
Yep. I mean, obviously he killed 6 workers as well, right?
Yeah,
so that has
it.
something to do with it.
Even worse.
I mean, the fact that the Phoenix survived is just fantastic for Patience, because now he should always be able to chase down this medevac. Patience is not
hello,
reacting.
Patience, hello. Oh, that bottom side pulls the probes just in the last second there. He still lost 4. So maybe potentially 5 or so. If he gets the Stalker kill, that's actually really nice as well. The Stalker is quite expensive.
This was a very good drop. This was actually, this went way better than I expected, especially because Patience had most of his units at home. You would expect that Phoenix to be on top of the medevac immediately, lift one of the mines, you pull the probes away, you lose maybe 2-3 workers, go back to mining. It's not just the amount of probes in the Stalker he lost, it's the fact that this medevac shouldn't be able to make it home, and a lot of lost mining time there as well.
Yeah, it's going to boost on back, and the Marines are looking to try and support it. Obviously, they don't have Stim, but 4 Marines on a hurt Phoenix is something that they would love to take that fight.
This is really good. I cannot believe that medevac made it home.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Obviously, all the Widowmines are dead here, and Big Gabe doesn't have Stim, so early like gateway pressure, is what I'm trying to say here, is actually a little scary at this point for the Terran. You don't have too many tanks just yet. I think Big Gabe might have just 1.
Yeah, I think 1 tank should be fine though, right? You just put it on the corner there or siege it on the low ground. Get out of there, Gabe! I think Gabe is not expecting this, but it should be fine. He's got a tank. He's, I must say, very, very...
Yeah,
I mean, he knows
away.
Patience and he knows his reputation. He's like, all right, I'm going to put this tank in a very safe position.
But the main is exposed here a little bit, Roddy. Not too many Blink Stalkers, but Patience certainly with the Oracle can blink into the main. Okay, now it's 7 Stalkers. That's a little bit scarier. That's definitely he's got the ability to pick off, you know, maybe the second tank, maybe an add-on here.
Does he blink on the tank? Patience? No, it does not. Now it's very nice, because now Gabe bought enough time for himself that he has the second tank, and that's always nice, because now if you would somehow end up losing one of your tanks, you still have that other tank to fall back to. So I think HeRoMaRinE actually just survived a very scary moment in this game.
Well, maybe not out of the woods just yet, as Patience just blinks up to the north side, out of range of that tank, forcing an SCV pull here to get on that reactor. And it's a bit of denied mining time here. As long as Patience doesn't lose any Stalkers, he's completely fine, and that's pretty good there for Patience.
Yeah, I mean, it's somewhat similar to last game, right? Obviously, this time it's HeRoMaRinE on 2 bases and not on 3 bases, so HeRoMaRinE is going to make a push that is a very, very dedicated push. Wow, if this can sneak out, that'd be pretty big.
The Oracle's going to see it. Oh, actually, maybe not. He might have just clipped the vision of the unit there, but he doesn't look like he's... Actually, he does have a force moving down at 3rd base and seeing the map there, so maybe he is moving an intercept.
He's warping in units there, maybe worried about something hitting him there. This is nice for Patience though, he already has the Stalkers out on the map. I don't think you need to go up to 4 bases right here, Patience. I think that's too much. I would say focus on, you know, maybe getting your second forge. You can maybe start squeezing in robo units. There you go, there is that robotics facility. But I wouldn't go up to 4 bases right now. I don't think, if Terran is not on 3 or is not building a 3rd, I don't think you have to go up to 4.
I agree with you there. Don't want to get
SCV
too greedy
pull.
and then fall behind here. Oh, dropping the main base. Patience's army definitely out of position.
Yep, the boys are being pulled as well. Patience not paying attention, ends up losing a Stalker immediately. He's getting a Templar Archives as well. It's like, don't do that right now. Cancel those tag buildings.
Oh, he's
you
going to
need
depower
Zealots.
5 gateways here.
You need Zealots. Oh my god, that's massive. On powering 5 gates, that means no additional warpings at this point. It means the army can't grow. Gets the medevac, but ends up losing 2 Stalkers in the process as well. And look at the minimap, Maynard. The boys are coming.
They certainly are. This is a big army for the Terran.
No.
Oh, Stalker nearly gets picked off, just pulls back to safety here. The Zealots are about to get +1, but the SCV is going to be keeping them at bay. He's repowered 4 of those 5 gateways. Nice force fuels and patience to start things off with, but he's already bleeding units.
Oh, and he's eating some very big shots of these tanks. I can't believe we have 4 tanks here, by the way. That's so big. You'd normally say, like, tanks are not that good against Zealots. Well, if they're firing like 4 at a time, they suddenly start becoming quite good. Patience is probably going to surround his army, though. He's going to try to cut off reinforcements. I don't know. It's madness, Maynard.
These 3 tanks, though, how do you surround this army? The bio is just nestled right on top of them. They're getting on top of production here. Here come the Zealots. Big game moves to get in front of those tanks and try and keep them surviving against these Zealots. He's lost all of the boys on his front line. Patience coming in from both sides here, but does he actually have the units? Reinforces some big game as well.
The boys are blocking all the Stalkers and the extra Zealots there as well. And I must say, HeRoMaRinE did a fantastic job in keeping quite a few Marines alive. If Gabe wins the game right here, he will move on to the round of 24, the group stage of Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. And he's not there yet, but Maynard, I'm really starting to become a believer here.
Absolutely, it's looking really good here for the German Terran. Patience is against the ropes, and HeRoMaRiNE's looking to throw him over onto the mat. He is pushing way into that natural tank, still alive as well, which is a massive problem for Patience. He just doesn't have the units anymore. He doesn't have the production. He's lost so many gateways. He's had gateways depowered in the main as well.
Yep, only 5 Zealots right now. I guess those Zealots have been warped in the main base. Or maybe at the third, actually. I mean, Patience still has quite a bit. He's counterattacking. He's cutting off some reinforcements. That's very well done, but he's going to end up losing these Stalkers as well.
Is he trying to make a race here or just catch a tank or something like that? These Zealots need to be cleaning up the tanks and the Marauders here on this front line.
To be honest, since his army's not growing and it's heavily overstimmed, maybe Patience can clean this up, and he's actually going to force HeRoMaRinE to evacuate. Wow. But now it's a 2-base Protoss with 32 probes. What?
And it's a 2-base Terran with 32 SCVs.
Which is good for Terran normally.
Yeah. I mean, 2-base against 2-base here, and HeRoMaRinE has still got the bigger army, and it feels like, even though Patience got those upgrades, he's going to catch a couple Stalkers here. That pylon, of course, if he can depower that, going to stop his warp in position. There's no prism here for Patience.
Actually, I thought that was going to be a nice catch, but in the end, Patience like, yeah, indeed, nice catch, but nice catch for me. I'll pick off like 8 Stalkers for just a single, well, 8 Marines for a single Stalker going down.
Yeah, this game's gotten really awkward. This is getting really weird here. Yep. I mean, Big Gabe still has the bigger army. I feel like his army is better if they clash and all the units are together.
Please kill that Phoenix. It has like no HP.
There we go. Your wish is being granted. Big Gabe is a benevolent god. So the Zealots coming in from the left side. The Marauders just trying to avoid. They want going into the minivacs. It's so risky. It just gets one to the high ground there, loses the other one, obviously.
Wow. I have no idea what we're watching right now. Patience is rebuilding the Nexus that he lost in his natural. He still has that Templar Archives, by the way. The Templar Archives that I thought he really should have cancelled when it was being all-in.
He doesn't have the gas.
Maybe he could utilize it, because HeRoMaRinE is obviously quite poor as well. They're both poor. But Storm can be massive in these like low eco games, because Patience could potentially start floating some gas if he would decide to take his gases. And like obviously 2 or 3 storms would have a massive impact on this game.
You're absolutely right. I think Big Gabe's doing the right thing, though. He's being patient. Yes, that's getting Patience that 3rd Nexus, or rather the natural Nexus back up, so he has back up to 3 bases.
Yeah.
But he's throwing in a lot more Winter Mines, and he has multiple tanks and Liberators. He's making 2 Liberators at a time.
Yep.
And if he pushes with all those units, that is going to be very, very hard for Patience to stop.
And I think it's been very big that they finally took care of that proxy as well, right? So it's not going to be that easy anymore for Patience to just warp in units on the other side of the map. We don't have a Warp Prism in this game. I think the Robo got picked off, right? The Robo
yeah,
was
it was in the natural.
Yep. Yeah, so this is hard. I mean, Patience's army is definitely, it's not stronger.
Yeah. And the boys have been pulled again, by the way. HeRoMaRinE up in army supply and bringing the rest of his SCVs for a second big wave. Lots of Zealots again from Patience, but the Liberators are here to assist this time. Tank from the back line not really assisting, is kind of just standing there, but I don't think Gabe needs it. This fight's looking okay for the Terran as the Zealots start to disappear. A lot more Marauders and Bio left over. And he did a few boys as well on that front line for posterity.
Yeah, once again, all the SCVs are gone right now, though, so HeRoMaRinE needs to get some really good damage going.
Needs those tanks to be behind this high ground.
I don't know, that was weird by Patience, but I kind of like it, because it did make this army a lot smaller, and gateway units are really good if the armies get smaller. Patience, is he actually doing this?
He's grabbing the tanks, that's really massive. One Wintermine going to hit the Zealots, but a split at the last second, mitigating that damage. This is very, very close here. Liberator coming in for Wintermine. Oh, he lost his medevac.
no medevacs at this point. HeRoMaRinE still wants to push. He knows he needs to do damage because he just pulled SCVs. He lost 23 workers. HeRoMaRinE needs to get critical damage on this Nexus, and I don't know if that's doable. He's got no medevacs here.
All Patience needs to do is hold on, and if he gets a few more warp-in rounds, that will seal his ticket into the round of 24. The Liberator's coming on forward. The Stalker's going to pick them off one at a time. The Bio actually has been thinned out enough here for the Protoss to catch reinforcements. Patience with the comeback, and he's happy about it as well, and so he should be. Well played, Patience.
That is insane, man. What a victory by Patience.
Losing your natural Nexus, being down 20-odd army supply, and dealing with the SCVs on top of that. What an incredible defense here from the Protoss. Big Gabe, it felt like he had everything he needed to win that game, but somehow Patience just upsetting him